So yeah, today I wanted to talk about artist shit and webcammer apathy. So I was doing some searching around yesterday, and I came across this guy called Web Pundit, and he had these like kind of interesting rants on various stuff. Really, really intelligent sounding guy, good, like anyway, interesting guy. And like on his channel page, on like in this how can you say, like the bar on the left hand side, he had this thing on bullshit artists of the month or the week or something, and there was this text that he lifted from the website of there was that artist in the 70s who became famous for putting his own shit into like a tin can and closing it off, and like getting a few of these together and like pricing them at the price of gold and submitting that as an artwork. And like from what I read of the comments that the artist had made, like he was saying how it speaks to the disappearance of the artist in contemporary art and to the independence of the artwork from author intent in the modern world and this kind of thing, and which is fair enough, and I think you can make it say that, but what it turns into is someone who is devoid of meaning. Like whatever they do, they can get heaps and heaps of money for it, and or at least they can get lots of attention, and like basically they don't have to do anything. And like the guy, he didn't just put out like an artwork of shit. He also put his air into bags and sold them, or put a price on them, and he had planned to put his blood into I don't know, into jugs or whatever. That was conceptual. He never actually got around to it. So now, if you look at webcammers who don't put so much thought into what they're doing, they're just going on the internet and saying, shout out to my peeps, or like today I had a pimple on my ass or something like this. It's exactly the same headspace as this former piece of art, and I think what it comes down to is, at that point, people had gotten to, the level of realization, like in the 70s, that there is actually no link between content and recognition, at least at the higher levels. There is no kind of external like apparatus of finding things that are true or finding things that are beautiful, that you can kind of compare yourself up to. And the loss of this is a lot of what happens in the late 20th century, from how I see it. So I mean, these days, and you have a place where you can basically get anything that you want to know, and more increasingly you can get anything you want to get over the internet, and it's become like a kind of temple in the way that Google, you can go to and find out whatever you want from it. Like if you want to find out something, you Google it, like the associative logic of that. So if you want to say something, then you have a blog for it, and it's like if you have your own personal thought, you don't have to think it by yourself. You can think it by yourself around lots of people, and yeah, it's like. But the thing is, when you're considering these like vast scale guarantees that, you know, the modern first world gives you like this, gives people, like guarantee of peace, guarantee of like sanctity of your body. It's very easy to treat them as already God-given, pre-given, or given to you like a mother. But I think the litmus test is to just look at the results in any situation like that, and you can see that, well, shit is shit. Blood is nothing else but blood. And a person just sitting, like, projecting their image onto the internet is nothing but a picture of them. It's just a photo. It's just a video. And while the guarantees of the one world are how can you say, are a kind of guarantee of laziness in this sense. It's the laziness that comes from already having a place and being given the freedom to do that wherever you go. So whereas, like, you can take, for example, the plight of Aboriginal people all over the world, like, as the events of, like, history progresses further and further, European history and American history, and the races of the world who are coming into this central commercial zone later and later are being more and more left behind. You can see that whereas in the past they were ruled over colonially, more recently brought into the fold peoples, like, I don't know, very, like, tribal area peoples are more or less left alone and designated the role of just existing as they are. So rather than people just showing themselves as, like, being weak and helpless and being only capable of producing shit and blood and, you know, talking about zits, then it's important to build from that base, which is common to everyone in that area, everyone in the first world. Something which goes higher and higher, which does go to more and more abstract levels, until you can get to the point where you can say an artwork which consists only of shit has a conceptual framework around it which has a very deep and abstract meaning, and a meaning which is frightfully important to being able to understand the world around you. And although the difference is only conceptual, that's where everything in the world is these days, within concepts. And I'm kind of pushing this into directions I didn't plan, but that's life, so I'm going to stop it here. So I don't know, for the maybe 10 or so people who have seen my videos in the last couple of days or so, you may have noticed I've been looking at community channel a lot. So I don't know if there's any connection, but I know I like watching those videos. And next time I'm going to put up something on Kafka and community channel. So yeah, look forward to that. Bye bye.